Yes, time flies. It is the time now for us to start and talk about what is happening. Yes. When you hear all those noises around us, we are in Singenile Ngevosho. Greetings to everyone, and also just to thank you for being here. Obvious. We are still gonna introduce ourselves in a normal way, just for a refresher and something that will get us going. That's why you're hearing this background music. Emily, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Mr. Anonymous. How are you?
I'm all right. Yes, I'm all right. Greetings to Chadi, the first commenter. I know that
Hi, Chadi.
Title is always contested, followed by Sekhamezi.
Hi, Sekhamezi.
Suganin Madot. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Lindiwe Mlambo Design, Mbali Biela, Batinda Visit. Senbonga, guys. Thank you. Right, let us do the right thing now that the music is done.
Yo.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys? Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
That was close. Right, Emily. The day was long.
It was.
But I think we have seen a Leonard friend.
A Leonard friend.
To say the least. Someone who is Leonard and who does not mince his hair with. Someone who is able to answer, who is not going to be a walk over like they were trying to do with Masemola. She didn't take it. No, she was not having
Stood
it.
her ground.
She stood her ground and defended the uniform. Let's say the uniform, because she's a general before
Major
we look
general.
at any other thing. She's a general.
Major general.
Major. It sounds
Very
like
important. Major one.
Right.
Major general.
Right, Emily, take us through. Time flies. Greet our people and take us through.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Ministeriality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us here again for another video, another live stream deliberation. This time around, we're talking about the Madlanga Commission. It was day 6 yesterday.
It was.
And yes, Major General Petronella Marga van Rooyen.
Yeah.
Major General. She came to the stand to come and defend the SAPS, to come and state exactly why had happened and what had happened. Brief highlights that we're going to be discussing is her testimony and how it actually gave weight and supported what Mchunu and General Masemola were testifying about in the last 5 days. And also, they are saying that in her testimony, she said that Mchunu acted beyond his authority, right, to disband the political killings task team. And also, Mchunu overstepped his powers on the task team, SAPS legal chief tells the commission. So, since Mchunu did not have the legislative authority when he, as the police minister, instructed the National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola to disband the political task team, this was
literally Mchunu was literally usurping.
Yeah.
Taking over the power. That's what she was actually saying.
Yes.
But she took over the power. But I was actually excited to hear someone putting it like that, because I have been saying that it seems as if initially the hiring of Masemola was so that people can usurp his power and be able to do so without any fuss, which it's good to hear some people from the internal people who are part of the team saying it, because it sounds like sometimes we are crazy when we say these things. But the demeanor and the personality of Masemola, it allows maybe sometimes people to walk over. That's why it is good that he used the powers that he has around him, the people that were able to leap through him and be above and be able to make the noise that was necessary. And the likes of Mkhwanazi and the likes of Dumisani and many more, such as Van Rooyen,
Yes.
the general.
Yes.
Those are people that we are thankful for. And also, we must recommend that for me, the management that Masemola used is actually what managers should do. Managers shouldn't be the ones shining.
Yeah.
Managers should be letting people do their job.
Yes.
And that is what I think Masemola did very well. In realizing that I'm not the person who's going to take people head on, but I've got the soldiers here that can do that for me. All I need to do is to give them the support. And we must applaud that when it's done by, more especially by a black person. We know how things are with our fellow brothers and sisters. We are too competitive. You find yourself competing with your manager. But if your manager gives you time to shine, I mean, as a person who is doing what is supposed to do for the SAPS, I mean, the rest is history. Now we are talking, things are happening. But again, I'm applauding this leadership that is shown.
Yes, and I'm even surprised at the reaction that people are giving to General Masemola. It's very shocking because for the past 5 years, we've had to see him in spaces and situations where he had to talk to the nation and address the nation, and having it being done by the former Minister of Police.
Begigele, for example, where we felt that is the even the progress of the Census case. That's where I thought he should have been the one to actually tell us about the progress.
Update
because that's operational.
Everything, yes,
Yeah,
but it was done by the minister.
by the
So
minister.
it looks like Minister Mchunu also got in under that impression that, you know what, the previous minister was doing it. So it means these are the powers the
Yes.
minister has. You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
So he had this way of making the national commissioner look useless, in my opinion. Like he wasn't needed. He was serving both the role of the national commissioner and the minister at the same time.
Yes, but what is of just now as you are speaking, what is important, perhaps what I would like to know is during Begigele's time, how much did who's this guy who was seen with Mchunu when he said I'm with the minister? Indeed, he was there.
Brown Mohotsi.
How much was Brown Mohotsi there for starters, for such?
Yeah,
Because those are things that also we must be thinking about, as to say the continuity of what needed to happen. There were a lot of things that when Mchunu came in as a new minister, I expected her to change. The people, for example, that were working in the office of Minister Begigele, but he inherited them.
Yeah.
And it seems as if it was just hitting the ground and running.
Yeah.
Now the question that we haven't asked is, was it because of this overseeing that we probably have, in a sense, seen with Brown Mohotsi and Mchunu, but it was not maybe in the limelight at the time?
Maybe, perhaps, because what makes it very, very interesting when it comes to Brown Mohotsi is him mentioned, even Mkhwanazi mentioned it, that on a TV interview, he actually said that he was part of the delegation that went and fetched Thabo Bester and Nandi Pai, Tanzania.
So this man was involved.
And also Brown Mohotsi, when he was talking to Mkhwanazi via WhatsApp, after he had informed him about the disbandment and all of that in the letter and sent him the letter, and then when Mkhwanazi is asking, what do you mean, and wants follow-up questions, then he brings up Brigadier Khan. And Khan is known to have been close, allegedly, to the police minister, the former police minister, allegedly.
Yes.
So it would be interesting to know the dynamics of that relationship as to what's going on.
Because maybe the cycle is bigger. Right now we are probably not even far in terms of trying to make it look bigger. But obviously, you cannot just eat the whole quota with one bite. You must take one bite at a time, and probably you'll finish when the time is right.
When the time is right.
Yes.
So this was the testimony of Major General Marga van Rooyen, the police's head of governance, legislation and policy at the Legal Services Division, to the Madlanga Commission. So she testified that storing the political killings task team politically sensitive case dockets at the police's national headquarters for 5 months was tantamount to interference. This is with reference to what General Sibia had done by taking those dockets from the KZN political killing task team, going all the way to Durban, KZN, and taking those 121 dockets and putting them at the headquarters in Pretoria for a good 5 months without them being worked on. So Van Rooyen holds a doctorate in law. She said it's an LLD, a PhD in law, and Judge Madlanga, or Commissioner Madlanga, they was asking, I see roads. Roads there and stuff, and she's like, yes, in fact, not to brag or anything, but I have a master LLM in constitutional law, fundamental rights and constitutional practice. Bayafunda abantu la ngaphandle.
Those are learned friends. That we should be saying learned friends too.
Yeah, this is not a child's play. Okay, she studied, she learned, she gets the blessing of working with something that she has a master's and a PhD in, because the PhD is in criminal law.
Yeah.
So that's a privilege. 42 years of service in the SAPS as well. I heard some people saying that these are the kind of people that should be made commissioners. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What is going on? Because of cadre deployment or some kind of comradeship that is going on, we find that people who we feel are more than qualified for certain positions not getting them, and they ended up being gotten by other people that were like, So what do you feel?
Do you perhaps wanna take a skill and pack it? Because being a manager, it's basically packing a skill, in my opinion. Because as a manager, you have to delegate. She is too skilled for me to make her a commissioner, proper commissioner. She's too skilled. I would need her to do
You want her
things
to
like
be a
this.
master,
Yes.
or to specialize.
To spearhead things that are
She's strong at.
are weakening the SAPS within. Because if you do that, obviously she will have to delegate.
True. Yeah, being a commissioner,
and also
you are all over the place.
massaging the political side.
Politicians,
And we must not forget, I mean, as much as I like what happened today, I like what she stands for at this point in time. But we know that once you get such position, and it has to do obviously at some point with color, there are political parties that seem to take advantage of that. So either way, we might be saying we are running away from cadre deployment from, let's say, the ANC and other black dominant parties. We might then be taking it to minority, because we know that those things like that, they are there, they do happen. I mean, so it's better to keep her there. But for commissioner, I think I would, at this point in time, give it to Mkwanas.
Okay.
I think should excel.
He's more
He
than
would
capable.
excel in that. He's got leadership skills, and he knows how to deal with the delegation and what needs to happen when decision taking is there, swift. He's not afraid to face you head on. I would give it to Mkwanas. Because people have been conflicted and saying that maybe he should be a minister of police. That's a problem. Upon hearing this commission, you now know that the minister, obviously, the point number one, they must be affiliated with a certain party.
Yes.
Which is not what we are looking for. Number two, the minister is limited in directives and the operational side of the policing.
Yeah.
So you are literally also taking away the skill of management that Mkhwanazi has and making him a more silent person who just receives and take whatever that is. And that is not going to stop infiltration of the SAPS.
And also the policing, the very tactical task units.
He's very skilled. We trained him. We trained him. We wasted money, and then we take him and make him a minister. No, commissioner. Yes.
Yes, he's more than capable of fighting crime. He knows the ins and outs. So why not give the person who can do the job the job?
Yes.
Ms. Van Rooyen is very good at the law. Let her assist the SAPS in getting this legal side together when it comes to constitutional, constitutional practice. She should be able to strengthen that. SAPS law, legal side of things is quite, it needs help.
It needs help, and it needs people like her. Maybe make her head of legal side of things as a general on that. That's something that I'll be open to.
And apparently she's reporting to the Deputy National Commissioner. We learned from General Mkhwanazi that we actually have 3 divisions in the National or Deputy National Commissioner side. Remember, I was trying to explain it the other day. So there's this side of legals, and the head of it apparently is General Nkua, and the other general, I didn't
the
quite
one
get the
that
name.
is said to be a foreigner, allegedly.
Is alleged to not be a South African. Apparently, allegedly, according to the rumors, she might be from Lesotho. But there's no response coming from SAPS. The response that they gave, they said that's not true. That's a lie. She's a South African. But I don't know. We will see. Because they said, they lamented that there's not enough evidence or proof that they're showing to say that she is a South African. I don't know how to prove whether a person is a South African or not, honestly speaking, except for going to Home Affairs, like how it was done with Chidimma.
Yeah, so I don't have any problem with what currently is happening. You see, I have a problem with people, even if, let's say, she was coming from outside. That shouldn't be an issue right now. What should be an issue is she doing the job.
Is she doing her job, and is she looking out for South Africans?
Exactly. Because that's where the problem starts.
When you
if you don't look out for South
other,
Africans.
Other nationalities.
Now, that's a problem. That's why the issue of what is happening in, what is it called? Albert Lutud Hospital. Is it Albert Lutul Hospital in KZN. The lady who supposedly has stepped down was from Zambia.
Yes, and was it starting now to only hire people that are outside of the country and not hire South Africans anymore. So that was a problem. That's a serious concern.
And when you are being probed and then you step down abruptly, you disappear. That's not a right account. You don't attend to the program.
To explain yourself as to, is this what you've really been doing, or is it an allegation, or what have you got to say for yourself? You just abruptly quit and stuff like that. It's not right.
For now, I would believe what the SAPS is saying, which is she's a South African. Okay. And she is dealing, she's got people like Van Rooyen working like this. Kudos to me. I'm good with that.
She's definitely outdid herself with delegation when it comes to Major General Van Rooyen. How dare I? So she testified that storing the political killings task team sensitive case dockets at the police national headquarters for 5 months was tantamount to interference. And Van Rooyen holds a doctorate in law and has been with the police for nearly 42 years. She reports to Divisional Commissioner, who reports to Masemola. Her evidence on Thursday was taken at face value and backs up KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemola's testimony, the only other witnesses the commission has heard from thus far. So among Mkhwanazi's allegations that caused President Cyril Ramaphosa to appoint the commission and put Mchunu on leave, paid leave, was that his disbandment of the political killings task team was illegal, okay? So the minister unlawfully strayed into constitutional competence of the National Commissioner when he issued the letter for the disbandment of the political killings task team. This is one of the things that Ms. Van Rooyen told the commission today. And she said that it would have been appropriate from Mchunu to say political killings were no longer a priority for the police, but to leave the implementation of that to Masemola. Van Rooyen added that Mchunu did not have the legislative authority to disband the political killings task team, let alone in the manner that he did. She said a police minister was empowered to select which areas to focus on through policy decision, but cannot prescribe or direct an operational level of how policy is said to be implemented. So according to Van Rooyen, the minister was entitled to express his opinion on whether a particular issue was a priority, but the National Commissioner remained responsible for implementing that decision. She said the Constitution required the National Commissioner to control and manage the police resource allocation. The Minister of Police is not a technocrat. Van Rooyen added that a minister was empowered to select which areas merited special attention, but could not prescribe or direct how policy was implemented at an operational level. Now, this was really interesting for me because what stood out for me was when she made that whole example about a minister not focusing on what was really important. She said the minister should be concerned, about legislation, big national cases such as illegal mining, and GBV cases. She made those examples and said, that's what the minister should really come. And when they come with that whole suggestion, or rather that instruction to say focus on this because it affects the community at a whole or at a mass scale level. So resources have to be deployed to that to see how can we sort out this issue. She said the Constitution required the National Commissioner to control and manage also the police resource allocation. So once those recommendations are done, the resource allocation as well is where the minister comes in. But not Usenzo Mchunu. Usenzo Mchunu, I remember from Mkhwanazi's testimony talking about that councillor who passed away. Yeah,
the interest of people that have passed on and probing on that, which is
at a low district level, police level, that as a minister, his focus is focusing on things that are not his portfolio to focus on. The national crisis, people are crying. We are all crying. The rate of crime is high. There's so many things, so many issues that are affecting South Africans.
Of fake goods and stuff like that.
Goods and stuff like that.
What are you doing to curb that?
But no, he wants to know about a particular docket of a councillor, and he was also interested to know whether a councillor who had left another party to another party
Is arrested.
was the one who was responsible for that and needed to be arrested. He was doing a follow-up on that case instead of these big things, these big mountains. As Masemola was saying, these big elephants that CBA needed to focus on.
Like a fella accused who needs to focus on this big elephant. They are interested in specific small particles.
Well, she also said that, it's also written here that weeks after Mchunu issued that instruction, Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibia, the since suspended Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, sent a letter on the 17th of January demanding that the task team dockets should be sent to his office in Pretoria. And according to Mkhwanazi and Masemola's evidence, nothing happened with those dockets in the 4 months that they were in Sibia's possession. So in response to a question from Commissioner, Advocate Sandile Khumalo, that's one of the commissioners, I think it's the male one who's sitting, I don't know whether it's the left or the right, I don't know, I get confused. Van Rooyen said it was not procedural for dockets to be taken from a task team and stored at the National Head Office for 5 months without being investigated.
So they come hot until they are cold.
According to her, she said that a task team like the political killings task team was privy to politically sensitive materials, and its dockets would need to be treated with the same sensitivity because the dockets could not simply be taken back to their respective police stations and investigated in the normal course. She said political killings typically involve a conspiracy implicating well-resourced senior politicians and businessmen, which is why it is of a high concern what is happening or what had happened with the disbandment of this political killings task team.
To say that just bring these dockets, let us investigate them at their respective places. And that's it. And while you know very well that the people that will be investigating those cases, they will be stranded, there will be no support, and also they will definitely have to just arrest the shooter if indeed they get the correct one, because it seems as if 6 out of 10 they would get the wrong one. Clear example of how these things work. There is an investigator that was crying when PKTT was still a minister here.
Yes.
That he needed protection.
Yes.
Guess what? We are told that he took his life, right? That's what we are told. We don't know. So
he even went to social media. Is that the one?
No, I'm talking about the one of Thabo Bester.
Oh, you mean the one of Thabo Bester? Okay, yeah.
And then
but
apparently the minister responded saying that you don't need protection, and then
now,
you want to take the dockets to such people who don't have protection. How are they going to investigate you?
This is really sad when you really think about what's happening in the SAPS. You know, that you could ask for protection, for help, and not get it, not receive it while you're doing your job. So the minister also, she said, does not have the authority to command the closure of a task team investigating crime that falls under operational mandate of the National Commissioner in terms of Section 2053 of the Constitution. Van Rooyen downplayed the testimony from National Commissioner General Fani Masemola earlier this week, who said he was told that President Cyril Ramaphosa had been briefed on the matter. She stressed that even if fate of the task team was discussed with the president, this did not translate to government policy. It's not a government policy. Just because you had a conversation with the president, it does not mean that now it's all things go, cut go, systems go, disband. Doesn't work like that.
No, it shouldn't.
So she also said that government's policy does not only relate to the decision or view of a president and a minister. In a government of national unity, such proposal does not automatically become government's intention. For it to be policy, it must go through the proper framework and consultation with provinces. When this political task team was established, she also said that there was various communication levels that had happened. There were prosecutors even that were allocated to say, you are going to work on political killings task team cases. So now that you're just disbanding it and you're doing it immediately, what are you saying to those prosecutors? What are you saying to the many other divisions? It's not just investigators. It's not just police people that are working in the political killings task team. There's intergovernmental, inter-subsections of state departments that are working to bring
And there's already funds
justice.
that were allocated to this team.
So just to say that, okay, disband it. What are you saying to the prosecutors that were allocated to be working on the cases? What are you saying about the magistrates that were said to only sit on such cases? And the budgets had already been allocated for them. What are you saying as well about in the offices of the SAPS? It's not just the investigations or the investigators working on the cases. What about other people that were focused, their work and their jobs was to focus on political killings task team? What about them?
I don't care. They really seems as if they did not care about that.
And it's quite amazing that now they are shocked that they are putting up a fight. You know, they're putting up a fight because setting up this political killing task team was not an overnight thing. So to just want to kill it overnight, to just disband it and let it be that, it's gonna be difficult for people to accept that because it took months, it took a while to put it together. That's all I'm gonna say. So she also said that there were evidence leaders that pressed Van Rooyen today. I saw a lot of people were not happy about even Madlanga or Commissioner Madlanga's questions and stuff. Today or night was just weird. Oh, is it yesterday? It was just weird for me as well. I was like,
I haven't been happy about him.
What is going on?
Why
does it feel like we're fighting?
Yes.
Why does it feel like this is a tussle? This is a tussle. What's going on?
Side-eyeing those people.
Hey, the questions, sometimes they have my eyebrows raised. There was one towards the end of the commission. I don't know whether you picked it up, Mr. Anonymous. In fact, I made it a responsibility of mine to write it in full before I go back to what is being said here. This is Miss Van Rooyen when she was reading from her statement and her conclusions. I think she was on the side where she was talking about her conclusions. Yeah, it was after the long adjournment. She said that during the testimony of the National Commissioner, an issue was raised on the possibility of approaching courts to resolve the impasse with the minister. Assuming that his evidence is accepted, it should be noted that there is a principle that the state does not litigate against itself. In other words, the executive and the head of department should not resolve differences or disputes in courts. And the reason for this is that the state attorney is responsible for litigation and on behalf of the state. So imagine the national commissioner taking the minister of police to court.
It's like the state is taking itself to court.
Yes. So the state attorney will act for both the executive and the head of department, which bring a conflict of interest. Who's going to sacrifice and say, okay, it will depend on maybe who goes there first. But then even if the other one goes first, does it mean that the other one who's a respondent is not liable or able to be represented by a lawyer from the state? Does it mean they have to go and dig from their own pockets to pay for that lawyer to represent them? I don't think so.
So it would mean that they will have to do that because, I mean, there's already a conflict here. And once you start now digging up to your pocket, you're no longer a state, you're an individual. So you'll be treated as such. So you are against the states with unlimited resources. Even if you win, they will still go to take you on appeal and appeal and appeal.
And she was also mentioning this because it was a question that the commissioners, I feel, rather had as to why Masemola could not do anything about an instruction that came from the Minister of Police's office. The painting
of Masemola as this passive leader who was rolled over by the minister, and that is where the problem is. We are losing the focus. The focus is that there is a capturing of SAPS. What ought to have happened and how, now it's a story for another day. And when was it supposed to be happening? That's a story for another day. Is that commission? Is that commission there for that? No, they are there.
I thought
to make
they were
sure
there to find out whether there is a capturing of SAPS
or infiltration
and
of
the judiciary that is happening.
Yes.
But it looks like now the focus
we are
is
trying to shift and see who is
Masemola
wrong,
didn't do his job.
what was he supposed to do, and that's where the problem is for me. That is where the commission is losing it for me. They are more, especially Madlanga's questions are more about
looking for mistakes.
What ought to have happened, trying to say, but that is in a sense cleaning the minister. That is, to some of these questions, they sound like they are washing.
Giving the minister's defense team clues on what they can do to counter these accusations.
That is how I view it. It's like some of these questions, which is the problem that we have been having with the judges that we have encountered. It does feel like at some point that these judges these days, they can never seem to be not biased, objective in a sense, but they are just, some of the questions they don't make sense to me.
They don't. And then the most annoying thing is that he would interrupt her. As she's busy saying her piece, they just interrupt. This is almost as if they are trying to throw her off. And they've been doing this with everyone. But the only person that they didn't quite do it with is with Mchunu. But from Masemola,
it became an issue of speaking to such an extent that some of the testimony was stopped. Right?
Yes.
He was told not to talk about
when it came to testifying about that company, RBM. Apparently, there it was not really entertained much. And when he was trying to go to Babita Diokeran's case.
Look, I have a problem with the handpicking of the people that needs to deal with certain things like cases. Handpicking of a judge to come and sit in court. I have a problem with that. I think it should have been the whole parliament deciding on the right judge.
Yes.
For example, why not bring Mogoeng?
I don't know. Hey.
What has Mogoeng done that we don't know?
They don't want to deal with him. They just
if you want to put yourself in glory as the president that chose the right person, for example, I would have chosen Mogoeng, who is seemingly objective as far as I can think. Bring such people, bring such talent, bring it.
And recall that even with Madlanga, Marikana commission, it was him.
Yeah, why bring him again?
Why him? Especially because there's this, you've had to deal with a case that the president was one would say a part of, but not necessarily because it was against the mining companies. But
And
there
that
was
commission,
an
to me,
issue
did
of an
not-
email that he had sent. And that commission helped clear him. One would say it helped clear him as well, to say that it wasn't his fault that what happened. That commission of Marikana did that.
Exactly,
And he was
exactly.
able to contest and become the president of the country. Right? And now, it's how many years later? The president is also in the mix here somehow. Because he's being mentioned that, no, Masemola is saying, I went to him and I told him about what Mchunu was doing. I didn't get a response.
I find it, if I was a president, knowing what is at stake, I would bring someone who I know is not going to massage anybody's feeling. And so far, out of the judges that I have seen, it is Mokhweng. Why I'm not bringing who was this one? Why I wouldn't bring Hlophe, for example, because already you know what they've
There's
done.
a prejudice against him. And he's what is it?
They stripped him off the
Struck off the roll. What is it for a judge? Impeached. He's been
impeached. Yes. So I would bring someone who is not going to massage my part, and that is Mokhweng. I don't care what anyone says. I think my heart is yearning for that man.
I'm getting a feeling that he's looking for loopholes. And I'm not comfortable. Because in that other court, when he started, he did it with a smile too, but towards the end, it became something else. So it just feels like I'm getting that deja vu, I'm like, maybe some questions you should not ask yet. Recall the witnesses that are testifying in these early stages.
Do you understand?
Recall them if you need
Yes.
that clarity later
For now,
on after
let it flow, let
Yeah,
it fly.
yeah.
Only seek for clarity. Don't seek to contradict what they are saying.
is being said.
Playing a devil's advocate because
he was
now
doing that
that
a lot today.
that makes you look more biased than anything. Makes you look biased.
And Madlanga, after Major General Van Rooyen said that about this whole situation of litigation between the state and, it's not ideal for the Minister of Police to be taken to court by the National Commissioner. Madlanga said that can be a very serious stumbling block because he says he's seen in such instances where the state attorney was using private attorneys who the client itself or where the client itself, whether it's a client department or going to a private attorney, that's not really an impediment. So he was trying to say that Ms. Van Rooyen is not right for saying that it's not ideal for the state to take itself to
In
court.
saying that would not stop anyone from continuing, as if now these people have the tap of money flowing.
So it was like, and also you have an idea of court, right? The one who runs out of the funds, what happens?
This is where the problem would be.
Omunye
Considering-
loser with costs.
Yes.
And then what?
Yes. Now, considering the fact that we already have pressure of politicians outside, so can you imagine the situation where the state uses the money on you, where most politicians do not favor you? Now you become the topic of the parliament and the disruptive man in a disruptive manner where you would not be able to continue any further should you lose.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
they will say you are wasting the
You are
state's
wasting
money.
money.
Can you imagine the likes of your federal would have you for lunch if that would have happened and you indeed are the one that they are
you
gunning for.
corrupt.
They'll be calling you corrupt.
They forget that you were taken to court or you took somebody to court and they're like, state money, you spend over 22 million.
Then they have evidence. I have evidence.
No, it's not ideal. I'm with Ms. Van Rooyen on this one. It's not ideal for that to have happened. Right there, Masemola was dealing with, one would say, an ego of a man. And I heard from Masemola saying that there were not even discussions happening around the disbandment of the political killings task team. Mchunu was not having conversations with either the national commissioner or the provincial commissioner. He would go all the way down to a district commissioner to ask about the particular case.
Yes.
Yeah, so he wasn't interested in talking to them, more especially about the disbandment of the political killings task team. And how can we forget that after that letter leaked on the internet, he came back and said he did not write that letter. Do you guys remember that? So also Ms. Van Rooyen responded to Madlanga and said there's exceptions. There's exceptions, but the exceptions are meant to be there, not really the general rule or really exceptional circumstances that necessitate this. But that shouldn't be a matter that's considered lightly, not if you are of the seriousness of the dispute, but it's in view of the seriousness of a consequence of litigation. So a good lawyer would always, by all means, avoid litigation. And unfortunately, that's the honest truth.
It is honest.
If you are in a position where somebody is suing you and they're saying, oh, you must apologize. Okay, you'll find a way, if you are wrong, to rather do that than go to court, because the court is a very expensive exercise. Hey, it's
strenuous
not cheap.
Marathon.
Yes, it's not cheap. And she also mentioned about the state as well. The SAPS has a lot of claims from things like wrongful arrests. I'm talking a budget of like 800 million that they owe to cases of people suing the SAPS. It's a lot. So they don't want to be found themselves running to courts every 5 seconds. It's not ideal with what's going on. Well, Madlanga eventually said that he was just mentioning it because of the examples that Van Rooyen was giving would be of exceptional circumstances. And he said, I would have thought. And then there was a time where it was mentioned that Commissioner Kumalo asked if the commissioner could not have obtained legal advices of if that advice said the instruction is unlawful, then could it have said to the minister, couldn't they have said to the minister that we will not implement your instruction because it's unlawful, right? Then Van Rooyen said that it's correct. He could have sought legal advice of not going to court, but the issue that she was addressing specifically, she says that she remembers that there was a question on the possibility of litigation, but she does agree with the approach of Masemola having gotten legal advice first. That should have been the ideal way to go about it and to get clarity on legal position and what steps to take to not have the minister do what he was attempting to do. So also Mr. Mutau on this point reminded the commissioners that General Masemola actually gave reasons why for him, he wasn't willing to take on the minister on this.
Yeah.
It wasn't an option. And the commissions have to go and regard that part of evidence, and deal with the issue. He came in handy with this for that because it seemed like they were trying to go at a totally different direction and I didn't understand. So her response was, unequivocal when she was asked about the direction. Evidence leaders pressed Van Rooyen on whether Mchunu's instruction could qualify as a lawful direction under Section 207 of the Constitution, which empowered the policy to set national policy. Her response was unequivocal. It cannot be such a direction if it has strayed onto operational matters. Mm-hmm. The word may say direct, but its substance was an instruction. And one that the minister had no authority to issue. She went further, calling the move procedurally flawed. The disbandment order lacked legal grounding, risked judicial review, and was inconsistent with the framework requiring consultation with the provinces on policing needs and priorities.
Yes.
So the task team, which was established in 2018, has investigated more than 200 political assassination cases in KZN. Van Rooyen warned that shutting it down prematurely would undermine prosecutions already underway.
And would create skyrocketing numbers in terms of killings. I mean, they would increase.
They've already started because we're heading for the municipality elections next year. So there's a young ANC Youth League leader who was assassinated just a couple of weeks ago in Limpopo. They are starting to happen again. They are building up again.
And you want to do away with the team that is capable, that has capabilities.
To find the murderers or the people that organize the hits or the people that are behind the hits. So Van Rooyen's testimony marked a shift in the inquiry's focus from personal clashes between Mchunu and Masemola to structural questions about political interference in policing. Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, who chairs the commission, noted that clarity on constitutional boundaries, adding that the commission would need to recommend stronger safeguards against unlawful political directives. Her evidence now formed part of the record that will feed into the Commission's interim report to Ramaphosa in December, a report that could recommend reforms to insulate police operations from ministerial overreach. In my opinion, I just feel like this commission was just established because Mchunu could not be fired. Mchunu could not be told to step down. I even had a question today on my social media to say that so far it's only been 3 witnesses. I have a question, Mr. Anonymous. My question is it that difficult to just have Mchunu take it? Or what's going to happen if we carry on like this? If there's this continuation of trying to save him? Because I just feel like we are going to discover more things.
You cannot, in my opinion, decide to let go of someone that at some point had your back, in my opinion. Because that person has like a lot of information about you that could compromise you. So rather put in a fight or what is purporting itself as a fight, at the same time, you still get to give them money. They're being paid in any case. On a normal day, it wouldn't be difficult to actually have Mchunu step down.
I remember back in 2017 when they were asking the former president to step down. Do you remember that, you guys? They said they had a meeting with him the whole day. So much so that by the time that they were done with him, it was around 11 o'clock at night when he was making an announcement. Do you guys remember that? So, Mchunu are immune to that.
It seems as if they are. And by the looks or judging from what they are spewing in the media, it does in fact seem like that.
This is about to get very interesting. So another part here we got a reminder of is that Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police failed to act on its mandate after it failed to investigate the allegations that General Mkhwanazi made in March. A senior member of the police's internal legal service told the Maglanga Commission. So Van Rooyen touched on that as well. On 5th of March, towards the end of a virtual committee of a meeting of more than 4 hours, Mkhwanazi said he received a call and a message from a gentleman who said to him that he was a close associate of the Minister of Police, Brown Mokgotsi, on the 29th of October 2024 last year. He said that Police Minister Senzo Mchunu's chief of staff confirmed that indeed Mokgotsi is very close to the Minister of Police. But what surprised him about this gentleman is that they then indicated to him on the message that he had sent him when he said that there is an internal attempt to discredit General Mkhwanazi through the defeating the ends of justice case. So that case that where they were saying that he intercepted the arrest of the correctional head at Kalagabusha, who was accused of being a illegal substance dealer. That is what Brown Mokgotsi knew was about to happen before it even happened, and was trying to give Mkhwanazi the heads up about it. So Major General Maga van Rooyen followed Mkhwanazi and National Commissioner General Fanny Masemola as a witness. She said in her affidavit she included a section dealing with all the authorities that have oversight over the police, including Parliament. Commissioner Advocate Sandile Khumalo asked that in the section where you are dealing with parliamentary oversight, are you suggesting that there was a failure there? Would we be sitting here today if oversight bodies were functioning properly? When we were talking about that other president of that other party saying that no, we are in this mess because when we were talking about it, it seemed like we were haters and whatnot. But there's a failure here that needs to be acknowledged. That when Mkhwanazi brought this the first time to Parliament, they blue-ticked him. Okay? It was like he was saying nothing. Van Rooyen responded to this. Here's what Van Rooyen said. Van Rooyen said, the commissioner, I believe that the issue that General Mkhwanazi publicly announced on the 6th of July was previously reported during the Portfolio Committee on Police meeting in March, if I remember it correctly. So the fact that the Portfolio Committee didn't act on that is, in my mind, a failure of their mandate. Mm-hmm. Even if they initiate an investigation, called the management of police to come and explain, that would already have been an exercise of oversight on their part to ensure that the matter received attention. Right? Mm-hmm. But they didn't do that.
They didn't do anything.
Commissioner Advocate Sesibaloyi said that isn't that what they are doing now? I mean, we know there's a committee that has been set up. I think it's called an ad hoc committee. Well, Van Rooyen said that the ad hoc committee is part of Parliament's oversight mandate. She said that I think the issue raised by Commissioner Khumalo, as I understood it, was about the timing. The fact that it was reported, they have the power to call the management to account to come and explain. And in hindsight, it is easy for me to say because I'm not a member there. But in my view, it would have been appropriate for the Portfolio Committee to call the management a week or 2 weeks after the incident to account, to say, give a report on what's happening and what are the facts in relation to the allegations that are made by Mkhwanazi in that meeting.
Yeah.
Which is the job that Bo Fidel Adams was supposed to do. Which is a job that he's on the police committee, right?
Yes.
Fidel Adams, Ian Cameron, who else from the other parties? I forgot them. But yes, they were supposed to do that. They were supposed to follow up on what Mkhwanazi was saying. Over 40 minutes of him explaining. 40 minutes, yonke, telling you about Bob Brown, Mkhoti and stuff. You were not, you didn't care. What was going on?
GNU was holding them.
So that would have been part of a mandate, she says, and I believed expected in the execution of their powers to conduct oversight, to call departments to account, to explain what the situation was. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. That's pretty much it. And also there's another part where she was talking about the disbandment of the political killings task team. She said that Mkhwanazi said that nobody else but the National Commissioner could give him the instruction to disband the political killing task team. His testimony last week and that of Masemola earlier this week reiterated this point, and Van Rooyen backed them up. She said Mchunu unlawfully strayed into the constitutional competence of the National Commissioner when he issued the letter for the disbandment of the political killings task team. So the commissions will continue on Friday this morning, while the ad hoc committee is also expected to meet to finalize its witness list. Remember, they are compiling a list of all the witnesses that they're going to call. The first one is expected to be General Mkhwanazi, the ad hoc committee in Parliament. So we'll wait on them to see when they will be starting.
Why were they fighting Mkhwanazi so much when they are still finalizing things?
They were finalizing, I would assume they were finalizing the list. They were fighting to have him as number one on the list.
They didn't preempt that this would go this way?
It only took him 3 days to testify. Maybe they expected it was going to take him the whole month, because we are used to that other court, people sitting on the witness stand for more than two months. I'm sorry. I had to go there.
Guys, I am super tired. I would have loved to have your opinion. How about having the Friday? That is good.
Friday we should come back a bit earlier, so that we can hear your voices, guys. Now I miss you. I need to hear your phone calls and what you think, especially about, please prepare your points for the ad hoc. No, not the ad hoc, the commission, Madlanga Commission, your highlights, what has been happening throughout. We'll try to come back at 10 tomorrow. Whether I'm done or not, we are coming live, because this one needs to have a conversation with you guys. Mr. Anonymous,
press the like button. Press the like button. Like the video. Subscribe. You still take subscribers. And join the membership. We highly appreciate and welcome them. That's basically it. It has been a very satisfying day for me. Nothing much to say.
No, I'm impressed.
I was impressed by the closing of loopholes that perhaps were poked by the so-called Madlang. That's it. I'm fine. It's a bye.
Bye, guys.